Hello again, I am Suren. Welcome to the program. Let us continue with what we started to consider during last episode. The action mode, which we have spoken about during the last time, creates a world having its own distinctive features, and they are normally never questioned. If you remember. Every single one of us have begun as pure happening. We have spoken about that. By being born, intention formed the direct action, the body self took form with a biological plan. Remember that it is the source of pain and pleasure defining what belongs to self. Others see your being as an object, thus helping you do the same. Once during the infant years, you developed the sense of time and sense of me, which leads to I. Memory creates time and orders objects into a past. Now, images and words create a future, ordering objects yet to come. The action mode ties the past and the future into an arrow. As it flies, now disappears. There is no chance for worrying any longer and believing what we are taught we cannot fit the world. More schooling helps define the self, and adolescence becomes the time of learning about self-identity. Let us now examine how we all start and spend our days. Morning routine, as you know, is an interesting way to start the day, followed by the usual occupation, where symbolic satisfaction sets the pace. And success means all the dreams will turn fine despite all the distractions and obstacles which might be experienced for a while. The task may demand you focus your attention while you exercise skill. Then you are back at work, wrestling with the idea of the future landscape of your phantom mind. However, you may have morning tea break as a routine on daily basis, followed by lunch. Did you enjoy your little breaks? Everyone thus experiences some bliss and a little bit more of dreaming. At the end of the day, you are home. But are you? Weekends are usually most welcome. You can work around the house, go to a restaurant to eat without demands, or you can be just social, or even some religious activity may interest you. Oh yes, dependency fulfilled. Perhaps sports, but performance measured by numbers may spoil that fun also. But at the end, you may be elated by some vicarious victory or angered by defeat. But the process drains you, and you are fuzzy in the head. That is the sign of fantasy. Let us go a little further. Imagine now, for a moment, that every thought you have is unreal. Each thought is an abstraction and the shadow of the thing that is. Your future and your past are not real. Do you know why? Well, how can you fit the whole ocean of memories into your living room? Memories are images where you are not. Therefore, how can the past be real? Concepts are not real, and neither the thinking is, because it's a tool. Would you put some food on a plate and eat the plate? Furthermore, every thought, every memory, every imagining you have are unreal. Your anxieties, all your hopes and desires are, you guessed it, unreal. All that which you remember having, all that which you imagine will come, are unreal. So, what of the day that you lived in fantasy, in abstraction, and concerned with past pleasures and future problems. How much was real? Did you notice how they presented the news? 100 enemy soldiers were killed. Well, they did not say 100 husbands, wives, lovers, brothers, and fathers were killed. Consider that billions of your hard-earned dollars go for killing fathers, husbands, brothers, and lovers, supposedly defending you against them doing it to you. Remember, our resources are ending, and we take the dwindling energies and precious metals to fashion machines to destroy cities that we will probably be unable to rebuild. On the top of it all, we work creatively to accumulate bombs and poisons in vast quantities that their usage would destroy all life on Earth. We breed viruses never seen before, and their military potential is staggering. We pay more to those who entertain us, but not to those who grow our food. And there is not enough of it. Yet more babies are produced. We are also poisoning what we breathe, drink, and eat. You see, fantasies and ideas and symbols have no guiding wisdom of their own. The action mode is out of control, and we all are dreaming a symbolic world, only briefly waking to what is real. As we mature, our fantasies of grandeur and power may indeed lose their credibility as death approaches, and dissatisfaction, which from time to time now mixes with anxiety, as we look a way out. Activities and our fantasies will not do. Is there then any way around? You might agree with me that the mystical, spiritual, religious life has been with us for thousands of years. Western scientists have proved that meditation calms the mind and the body, and the yogis have been chanting mantras for at least 3,000 years. We have heard strange tales of strange people persisting that there exists a way. The Western world has mantras too, and Western meditation is called effective prayer and contemplation. Asceticism is not new. However, only a few think of it as the way out or the door. Religion mostly is not. Crusades in many forms still kill for Christ and in the name of Allah or a Hindu deity. Old age, sickness, and death. These were what the young Buddha saw before he became the Buddha. But Siddhartha Gautama, a prince with wealth and a beautiful wife and a young child, realized that those three things could affect him too. He was dissatisfied with his den life, and he abandoned his royal life to seek an end to his dissatisfaction. He mortified his body, lived like a hermit in a forest, and practiced special meditations, achieving strange states of consciousness, but nothing helped, and so he gave up everything. He sat under a tree, and there was nothing else to do. It is said that in that state of cessation of striving, he gazed upon the morning star and was enlightened as to truth. This truth set him free, free from suffering, free from dissatisfaction. But there were many other Buddhas before and after him in the East and the West, and they found a way, a door. So they said, and left instructions for others to follow. There was not much success, and the world seems as bloody-minded today as it ever was. All those Buddhas point to the same door, and we don't have to go their way to understand that. Meister Eckhart said, if we keep ourselves free from the things that are outside us, God will give us in exchange everything that is in heaven itself with all its powers. Patanjali said, binding the mind stuff to a place is fixed attention. Focusedness of the presented idea on that place is contemplation. Godard said, when this active effort of mental concentration is successful, it is followed by more passive, receptive state of samadhi, in which the earnest disciple will enter into the blissful abode of noble wisdom. Hilton said, for if such a soul should desire to make any effort of its own with its interior faculties, this means that it will hinder and lose the blessings which God is instilling into it and impressing upon it. We may consider these as the instructions in opening a spiritual door. However, they are all basically the same, even though they come from men who spoke different languages and lived centuries apart. We can sum it up simply: practice, renunciation, and meditation. Renunciation. This word sounds very wild and heavy, doesn't it? Imagine a wild old man in a desert cave is an image that comes to mind. Flagellations of the body and the spirit. Suzuki explains it as renunciation is not giving up the things of this world. It is accepting that they go away. Allowing, letting, non-attachment, it means relaxing the grasping hand, the opposite of the action mode. Have you ever done it? Have you ever quit? It's one of the hardest things to do. Sometimes one person's mind, blessed by fatigue or shock, just stops. His eyes might be open and he's listening, and the world comes in. Now, that is meditation. Contemplation, however, when you stop, it is renunciation. The door is not religious, not even exotic, full of incense, robes, and symbols. It is not strange and not secret, just unpracticed. Buddha said, one is one's own refuge. Who could be the refuge? Rahula indicates, he said that there was no esoteric doctrine in his teachings, nothing hidden in the closed fist of the teacher. Nothing hidden, nothing secret, just forgotten. Meditation is not crossing your legs, chanting Sanskrit, looking holy. Enlightenment perhaps meant your troubles were all gone, you could fly, read minds. Spiritual meant religion, bishops and rabbis, solemn priests, mullahs, and ministers. There are also monasteries, which are schools where you learn to be spiritual. In mid-California, about 20 miles inland from the Big Sur coast, is Tasajara, a Zen monastery. It is very Japanese, and everybody wears black robes, and where both men and women shave their heads. When in Zendo, that is meditation hall, they all sit in cross-legged rows. The students are doing zazen, meditation. They have been told to follow their breathing or count their breaths one by one, and not being involved in thinking or daydreaming. They are told to keep their backs straight and breathe from the belly. Pacing slowly along the rows is a robed figure carrying a stick, and every now and then one of the seated students presses his palms together, bows forward, and gets whacked on the shoulder. They do this for 40 minutes at a time, and then get up, walk slowly around the hall, sit down, and do it again. They have their meals in the zendo as well, and the diet is vegetarian. Mealtime is more ceremony than eating, full of wrapping and unwrapping bowls, placing spoons and chopsticks in ritual order while chanting Japanese verses. Suzuki says, there are perhaps 3 kinds of creation. The first is to be aware of ourselves after we finish zazen. When we sit, we are nothing. We do not even realize that we are. We just sit. What when we stand up? We are there. That is the first step in creation. Or else is gone. But when you are up, we emerge, and everything else emerges. This is not attachment. Non-attachment. Let's try to understand what it is all about. To begin with, zazen, just sitting, is the opposite of everything we have learned to do. We learn to move our minds from sensation to thought. We learn to move and see and hear and touch automatically, freeing energy for thought. Now we can think and only be half aware of sight and touch and sound. Thought dominates our conscious life. And when meditating, what are we doing? No matter what kind of meditation we do, it de-automizes the generation of our thoughts by sending us back along the developmental path. Sensations receive our attention while thought is ignored. The attention energy withdrawn from abstractions is reinvested in perception. Breathing, chanting, saying mantras, or just sitting, the focus is the same, sensation. Whereas the action mode controls, receptive mode allows, and meditation is allowing. Even the gospel preached aims at your motivation. Our motives program our perception, our purpose organizes our world. So, acquisition may be the first to go, the prime purpose of the action mode. The self is fired at by sermons teaching ego is illusion, by standardizing clothes and posture, work and meals, by minimizing speech. Death is discredited, pain, that thought is boundaries and motivations is challenged and dismissed in meditation. You are told, be the pain and keep on sitting. Endure, don't run, experience, accept. Pleasure too must lose its appeal to bring about the shift in mode. If you accept, let go, and never seek the memory of the past, how can pleasure serve to guide your acts? You see, renunciation is not giving up the things of this world. It is accepting that they go away. The carrot of enlightenment seems to be dangled before the goal-seeking mind, forever out of reach. Monastery was once a tool working to shift the organism's plan from control, manipulation, that is action mode, to allowing, receiving, or receptive. All these can be done by other means also, without any cross-legged seating mantras, chanting, and so forth. We have schools today. You see, the whole humanity, it seems, has their purpose and means confused, and not quite understand the mode they use. Are there any other ways and paths we can consider, perhaps? By the next episode, we will talk about them. In the meantime, keep smiling and be happy. I will be waiting for you by the next episode. Thank you.